Good morning. Welcome to Between Two Teapots. Sorry for the delay there. Just as I was about to go streaming, somebody comes knocking at the door. So I don't really get a whole lot of people knocking at the door. So it kind of took me by surprise. But we got this. We got this. Okay. Hey, what's going on, you guys? Good evening. Good morning. Good day to you all. Let's have some tea. Let's do some tea. I haven't put up an Instagram post yet, so let me quick get that done. All right. Do I look good? How do I look? you guys hear me? 2 teapots. No, 2 teapots. Wait, what are you talking about? I have not got an Instagram post yet. A bunch of stuff still left over from yesterday. Lama and I kind of sat down and plowed through a bunch of stuff that we're thinking about purchasing for this next season, and so it took me a little while to get things cleaned up. Yeah, so look at that. I'm already behind the chat, and I apologize. Let me see. Let me get this all set up here. Mornings with kids gets a little tricky, but we're good. We're good. I got this. Got it under control. Julia, good morning, good everyone. Hope we had a fantastic start to the week. In the Between Two Teapots episode, tea-related off-topic talk was entertaining. Yeah, Alka Michael's always a blast. I get a kick out of having tea with him. He's pretty cool, and he and I end up just talking about everything that's not tea-related, which is kind of funny. Oh, I said welcome to Between Two Teapots. That's my Monday morning mind. So. No, it is not 2 teapots. It's morning matcha. Good morning. Welcome to morning matcha. And we are drinking. Let me get a little presentation cup here. We're drinking some Huang Pian today. Oh, I guess I should be careful with the YouTube. YouTube's been weird. It really doesn't like my morning matcha streams. There we go. Let's check this out. Let me adjust this one sec. Okay, now I can actually see what's going on. There we go. Look at that. Huang Pian material. You can see there's some bigger leaves in there, some ugly leaves, some not pretty leaves. That's basically what Huang Pian is. Huang Pian is all the leftover stuff like that. That's not normally a traditional good looking leaf. Huang Pian can certainly tastes fine, but it doesn't look great. Kind of the idea. Yeah, no, these are nice leaves and very enjoyable. Huang Pian material is let's see if there's any other good examples of Huang Pian leaves. Yeah, just burnt, broken stuff like that. There, you can see that. So the idea with Huang Pian is so after you've done your processing, all the material gets processed. Big huge pile. Yeah, they are intact. Big huge pile of stuff. They'll sit there, and you can see some videos of them. It's like they pick out anything that doesn't look good, and the stuff that doesn't look good doesn't get pressed into the really nice fancy cakes. This stuff was on the exact same trees as all the other material, but maybe it was maybe it was picked earlier in the morning, and so by the time they get to the processing, it's kind of faded a little bit more, it's withered more. Or maybe it was on the bottom of the wok too long and it got hot, whatever. For whatever reason, the leaves don't look nice, and because they don't look nice, the fancy purchasers and stuff that are making big, fancy, super expensive $high cakes, they don't want to. Button on my kettle's starting to stick. It's not good. They don't want to buy the stuff that doesn't look good. So Huang Pian is basically just what's left over. And Ronan, what's going on? Good morning to you. Whew. All right. Okay. I've not had tea yet this morning. Maybe that's why. I do need to get an Instagram post up, so if you guys will bear with me, I'll make a quick little post. Get some Instagram people on here. All right. You guys can tell me about your weekend and tell me what you guys had for what teas you had, what teas you going to have this week. Let me know what's going on, and let me know what's going on in your lives. I'll get this done real quick here. Create post one. Time for some morning tea. Yeah, and for those of you who have already gotten a head start on the Monday, everybody on the other side of the pond, let me know. Let me know how Monday's shaping up. It'd be nice to hear about it, just in case there's anything the rest of us need to worry about. So let us know. Ronan got a hey Timo. Let's see. Ronan got a black tea and a raw pu'er from the same garden here. That's fun. That's a pretty cool. I really like being able to do stuff like that. Do some side by side tastings and things. Some really interesting opportunities to be had when you're experimenting with tea in that respect. Have you tasted them yet? Have you? What's the difference? It's kind of cool. Yeah, black tea does really interesting, unique stuff, and especially when it's like same plant, same garden, same everything, but just the difference is processing. It's kind of cool to see how that works. All right, quick little picture here. Bam. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. There we go. Drinking a Jingguan Yin at the moment. Very floral. Nice. Jared, what's going on, buddy? Local boy, neighbor. How you doing, man? Oh, where are we at? I am a little bit behind. You know what? Maybe I'll just do. Where are we at? Monday mornings, guys. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough for everybody. I'm not a big morning person, but usually these tea sessions help me to get started. Look at that, Jared. See your picture right there from Easter. First thing that popped up. Bam! Open my phone. There you are. It's good to see you, man. Let's see. All right. Okay. All right. Quick post. Here we go. Let's see. This Instagram story. Bam. Here we go. I'm slow, guys. I'm slow. Sorry about that. She'll get this heated up too. Had a Adriana. What did you have? A Sheiru? Amazing. About to break into some Believe. Nice. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, Believe was one of my favorites from last year. Join us for. Where's it at? There we go. Join us for Morning Mocha. Live on YouTube right now. Quick. Sorry, guys. There we go. Here we go. Oh, it's jumping around. I'm not in a good social media state of mind right now, guys. I'm spacing out. There we go. It's all good. Call it good. Call it good there. Start making some tea. Sorry, guys. All right. Where were we? Yeah, we were talking about Huang Pian. Heidi Burger's on the road. No tea for you right now, and you can have tea on the road. You just got to make some time for it. It's a little tricky, but you can do it. We've got a nice portable hot water boiler, one of the jet boils. Those work pretty good. Jet boil, Gong Fu to go, and cake of your favorite pu'er. You can have tea. You can have tea anywhere. Sheiru is a stone milk tea. I don't really know much about it. What else can you tell us about that tea, guys? I'm all pu'er all the time. That's pretty much me. Although we will be having some interesting teas on Between Two Teapots this next month that are not pu'er tea, with some other tea people who are going to be sending us some tea. So for the first time, we'll be having actually it's a Japanese fermented tea, some bada bada cha with Pedro from 05, and then we've actually got Shu Wen from Floating Leaves is going to be on with us. She's a ton of fun, and she's going to be doing some oolong. She's going to send us some oolong. We're going to send her some pu'er. We're going to go and brew together. It's nice. That one's going to be a lot of fun. I'm missing a cup around here. Oh, there it is. Gotcha. All right, look at that. Nice. little teapot there. This is my favorite Maocha teapot. Robert P, 7 p.m. in Germany. You already had some 2020 Laumana. Nice, nice. Laumana is a Laumana bitter varietal. Yeah, no, Laumana's intense. That can be really intense tea. Oh, my beard's coming apart. It must mean good tea. Nice, Ruben. You're gonna brew up some Huang Pian to have with us. Thank you so much. It's nice when everybody can kind of brew the same tea. Yeah, so Huang Pian means well, it's the full phrase is Lao Huang Pian, means an old yellow leaf. Old yellow leaf refers to the actual shape of the old yellow leaves, like that one that I pulled out. You saw it was kind of like yellowed, kind of like old. And but there's a if you actually look up and translate the terms for Lao Huang Pian or Huang Pian, the characters in Chinese, and start doing Google searches for it, you're gonna very quickly find out that Huang Pian also in Chinese means pornography. So that will be that's an interesting rabbit hole to accidentally find yourself going down when you're trying to learn a little bit more about tea. I think it seems a little strange, but I think it I don't know, different countries assign different colors to erotic things. You know, in the West it's generally blue, but in Asia, for whatever reason, the color yellow is considered an erotic color. And so yellow pages traditionally meant, you know, like pornographic material. And so Huang Pian also means yellow leaf, and it also means yellow paper. So be careful if you're doing Google searches for Huang Pian tea. you might not find what you're looking for. Just a pro tip there. Note to self: don't Google Huang Pian at work. Yeah, you might not be what you're looking for, what your boss wants you to look at. This is actually a material from Hekai. We've got a couple different things from there. We had Stargazer this weekend with Falcon Michael. Stargazer is from Hekai. We've got our Danger Zone material, which is also from Hekai. I like Hekai. Hekai's really close to Laumana for whoever was drinking the Laumana tea there. You can walk to Laumana from Hekai. It takes you quite a while, but it's if you walked like straight through the jungle, it's only like 2 or 3 miles. It's really close geographically, as the bird flies, I suppose. But to actually get the roads to get there is like long and winding and twisting, kind of go all the way around. I've had this material a few years now, I think. I can't remember when we got it. Maybe 2018. We really don't have that much of it, and I'm not sure why we. I don't remember why we didn't end up picking it up. Usually, how much do we got? Here we go. That's it. That's all I got left. Just this little bit right here. I remember making a note that it had really good huaigan, really good throat feel and aftertaste, sweetness. But I don't remember why we didn't end up buying it. Sometimes it can be. I don't know, maybe it's too pricey for the experience, or the timing's not right, or we don't have any more buying budget that year. But yeah, I don't remember why we didn't pick this one up. But we'll give it a try, see how it is. Huang Pian's generally like significantly less expensive. Like for example, the Stone Lion. Stone Lion is Laumana Huang Pian old tree material. And Laumana old tree material is really pricey stuff, but Stone Lion, because it's a Huang Pian, it's actually quite affordable. Skolbson found it out the hard way. I was asking a Chinese friend if I said it right. She did not sound too pleased when I asked her. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so I'll save you guys some awkward cultural situations if you just know ahead of time that Huang Pian has a double meaning. Do we have something really bitter in offer at the moment? Yeah, a handful of things. Any of the stuff on our site that has the words Laumana in it is going to be really bitter. We've got a Laumana tasting set, which is a sheng and show together from the same material. Both really bitter. The Way, that show pu'er, has actually got some nice bitterness in it. I'm not sure if we have any more Laumana Maocha. Stone Lion's got a nice got a nice bitterness to it as well. So yeah, some good stuff. Abkin Googled Huang Pian. The top results are Crimson Lotus Tea. Yes, article. What is Huang Pian? Yeah, so I am happy that I've been able to tweak the Google algorithms for the Western audiences so they don't get stuck in the Huang Pian trap. It's entertaining, funny stuff, guys. Who knew? Who knows where these conversations are going to go? All sorts of stuff. It's tea time. Joshin, what's going on, man? What tea do you got? There we go. I've got a fun post to make later today on Instagram. Probably will make it right after this. Some friends, or a friend of mine gave me he gave me a call. He's like, hey, I'm cleaning out this house. These people have this old box. They don't want this box anymore. And I think it's like, it has something to do with tea. So if you want it, I'll drop it off by your house. And I was like, sure. So he sent me some pictures of it. It was just super faded. It was like a wooden box. Really hard to tell anything on there. It looked like there was some little pictures on the box, like big box like this, like an actual big giant wooden box. And on the front, on the back, it said imported by, and then Portland and Seattle. That's all it said. So we get it, and it's a really old box. It's got some really nice hinges on it. You can tell it had like some pretty cool stuff that was printed and glued on it at some point in time. And when you open it up, it's actually lined with tin. So it was a tin lined tea shipment box, potentially from like the 1800s, and the actual paper on the inside is in like perfect condition. The paper on the outside is all weathered and faded. But yeah, on the inside it says basket-fired Japan tea imported by Closet Endeavors, Portland and Seattle. Did a little research, and so there was a tea and coffee and spice company that operated specifically out of Portland, but also in Seattle, and they imported coffee and tea in like the 1880s. Like, it's so funny because like I found a picture of like the guy with his tea delivery like horse and cart, and like him just standing there next to it, like it could be like a current straight up like mustachioed hipster in Portland. Like the look is exactly the same. I don't really think I think they probably do a bicycle now instead of a horse and cart, but it's pretty funny. So pretty cool. Yeah, late 1880s, early 1900s. It's a tea import company, primarily coffee, like I said, but they also did tea. Yeah, they did coffee delivery by horse. You know, it's kind of funny because everything is like super delivery now, and we think that's like so like cutting edge and high tech. You know, you push a button and stuff comes magically. And this was like 140 years ago. You could have coffee fresh delivered like right to your door. 140 years ago. Kind of cool. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about them. They primarily were coffee, and they did. They apparently were the inventors of the vacuum sealing process for keeping coffee fresh, which I thought was pretty interesting. So you can still find like a bunch of their old like coffee tins and stuff that they would sell. You can find those on eBay and things like that. But I've not found any information at all about like their tea, which I think was pretty cool. Really, you could tell like I mean, it's all faded, but like the pictures and stuff on the outside of the box were gorgeous. You know, pictures of like bonsai and some, like flowers and a Japanese garden and things like that. So I'll post some pictures about that this afternoon after this tea session, and see if the collective mind can help me figure out some more about Closet Endeavors. It's kind of funny to imagine, because they were pretty popular for like 50 years or something like that, then bought out by somebody else, and just 50 years of like tea and coffee history in the Pacific Northwest that I've never even heard of before. It's kind of fun to deep dive into things like that. I don't know what I'm going to need I don't know what I'm going to do with the box. It's not like I need the box, but kind of fun. Got a new little tea pet on the table. I just played around and 3D printed a little bird skull. You can't even see that, can you? Because it's white. Yeah, there we go. 3D printed a little bird skull to kind of see how it would hold up to heat, as if I was going to be 3D printing like fun little cutie tea pets on my table. And surprisingly, it actually works quite well. It doesn't melt or deform under the temperature of boiling water, which is a little bit of a surprise since that it's PLA plus, so it becomes liquid around like 200. So, but apparently you can put some hot water on it, which is kind of cool. Oh, hey, Chris, I just see your question. Is Huang Pian in reference only to pu'er teas, or does it mean seconds or different types of teas? As far as I can tell, it's only a pu'er tea thing. As far as I can tell, somebody else may be able to know more about that. I'm not sure that. I think in most other places for most other teas, what doesn't make it into the final ends up getting made into a kind of like a CTC type dust grade thing, where it's just kind of all just like crushed and chopped up and made into tea bags. As far as I know, I'm not entirely certain about all the nomenclature for non-pu'er stuff. So it's possible that other teas use it, but I haven't really heard it being used that way. Huang Pian's fun. You can get a good deal, a good value, but now people are really starting to recognize that, and so even Huang Pian actually continues to go up in price. Actually, for our teas, I don't specifically have them take out most of the Huang Pian. I tell them to just, if it's a really bad looking leaf, or if there's like a stem or a branch or something that got stuck in there, I'll have them pull that out. But most of our blends still have like the old yellow leaf material in there. It's it's just tea. I think it works to create a balance in the taste, and so I don't really have them pull that out. I'm not as focused on making pretty looking cakes. I really I think a lot of the way we do things is just the idea that the proof is in the cup, and so I'm more interested in like what the actual experience is when you drink it. If there's an old looking leaf in the teapot, it doesn't bother me so much. Skavson, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about with thermosetting polymers. The trick is the stuff that's easy to print with is easy because it's easy to melt, and so it makes it really easy to print. And so if something's easy to melt, there's not really much you can do to it to make it no longer easy to melt. You can do some things where you kind of take like a big thing of fine sand and you bury the part in the sand and then put it into your oven at like a lower, like I don't know, like 250 or 300 or something for a couple hours, and it kind of like remelts and then reforms into the solid shape. But with enough heat, it's just these plastics aren't really designed to do what some of the fancier like nylons or PETG does. It's funny, PLA, which is what this is, polylactic acid. It's a corn-based polymer, which is kind of fascinating. Yeah, the filament is yeah. So yeah, this is a PLA or PLA plus. I forget which one it was. I forget where I got it, but yeah. So I'm just kind of having some fun, making some fun little things. I'm not going to get into the 3D printed tea pet business. That just seems kind of funny. But I was specifically curious, like how it would hold up over time. Yeah, Adriana. Yeah, if it's the rosin-based printers are more resistant to heat. You're right, because there's the chemical reaction. Those rosin printers are super cool, just like photoreactive. I love the way those work. It's doing fine. I mean, this has been reacting fine. So I mean, it's the exact same. Get it up against black or something. It's the exact same shape that it's been ever since I started playing around with it. And I mean, I didn't print it at a very high, like layer Z resolution, so it's got some, you know, lines and stuff on there. But yeah, I can pour 212 on it, and it just keeps the same shape. It doesn't even really get squishy or anything. So I think that's kind of cool. I've been having a lot of fun with the 3D printer. Made some itty bitty skulls the other day. Tried to make some really tiny stuff. Making really tiny things is a little bit tricky. This has a little bit of a Hekai essence to it. Not bad. Adriana tried to do flower pots with no liners. Their layers a little too porous. Oh, it didn't hold the water very well. Is it just what was the issue? Yeah, Scobson, 3D printers are fun. You should pick one up. I bought the absolute cheapest one I could really find that I thought would still do decent stuff, and it was the refurbished Ender 3 Pro, and it was $169 shipped, and I was just like, you know what, I can swing that. And so then, you know, like a kilo of filament runs you, you know, 20, 30, 40 bucks or something, depending on quality. You can print a ton of stuff with a spool of filament. Whew. Has anyone else bought the Dahong Pao small cups from Yunnan Sourcing? They seem to be adding minerality. Anyone else experience this? I think they're 40 ml. I'm not familiar with those cups. Maybe somebody else has. Interesting. Okay. Oh, so you're. Oh, yeah. That's right. If you're leaving the stuff in. If you're leaving the stuff in the sunshine, I know specifically some people have talked about like making little things for their car, and then in the sun, like it just kind of like melts. And maybe it's just because I'm not like doing like really sustained pours. Like I mean I was still just like pouring, you know, like 212 whatever, like over the top of it, and it seemed fine. But I could see how like sustained sunshine over time could maybe start breaking it down. You could probably take your pot and put like some Bondo, like an epoxy over the top of it, some sort of like an epoxy rosin or something. I've seen some people do some stuff like that. It'd be kind of Bondo would actually work really good. It's just a little stinky, but there we go. Hey, how's the tea? Would love to see more Huang Pian sold. Yeah, it depends. Well, Huang Pian's starting to, you know, as farmers and vendors are starting to realize that there is there's a market for not the most expensive tea at the mountain. You're starting to see them charge more for Huang Pian. I mean, it was. I mean, in the beginning, like we could just get like free Huang Pian sometimes. They just give us like just big bags of it because they weren't going to do anything with it. I jokingly call it farmer grade because that's generally what they end up drinking a lot of the time, because they sell all the good stuff and they just keep this for themselves. So farmer's choice. But yeah, there's people there that want to like buy it, and so they'll sell it. And so now it's an actual product, an actual thing. And so it really depends on the quality of the material too. So. But yeah, Huang Pian's good stuff, and we if we find interesting stuff, we try to pick it up if it's a good price. Yeah, this is a nice tea. It's pretty mellow. Hekai is pretty mellow in general. It's got some nice Huang Pian, like my or Huaigan, like my note in there said, but it's nice. It's not too bad. I think the actual, I think this is actually Huang Pian from pretty close to where our danger zone is picked from. So I'm pretty familiar with that. And this, my kettle's kind of freaking, guys. The problem with these fancy kettles, this button, my charger button's dying. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm really familiar with like the material that this is based from, and so that's actually it's a super awesome material, like the what's in our danger zone. And this this comes pretty close. I mean, well, I mean, not really. I mean, I can tell it's from. I can tell the area where it's from, but I think the actual full strength material is probably better. But still fun to try this stuff. What else did I have? I brought something else. Yeah, some Bongwei old tree material. We could segue into that if this one kind of peters out. Suppose it was inevitable that they would realize it sells pretty nicely. Love drawing out your Huang Pian and trying to find the biggest leaf. Yeah, there's some really big monster leaves in there. It's just some really nice color though. Look at that nice golden yellow. Yeah, somebody sent me a message saying that they wanted to start a tea business, like specifically like focusing like exclusively on like Huang Pian, because then they thought they could make like a ton of money that way or something. It's just it's not really possible anymore. They know what the Huang Pian's worth, and especially from the famous villages and stuff. Somebody's always going to buy that stuff. Always going to buy it. Even if they're just going to make it into a pu'er, like our actually the Iron Forge, our Yiwu Huang Pian pu'er. I think the guy that actually put that together basically got all the Huang Pian for free. I mean, he had to be there, and he was probably buying significant amounts of other stuff from people. So he's buying a bunch of other stuff, and he's like, "Hey, you want to toss in that Huang Pian?" He's like, "I'll take it. I'll get rid of it right now for free." And so most of the people are just like, "Fine, whatever." And it took a long time, like multiple picking seasons, to continue to grab like all the Huang Pian he could get for free in all of Yiwu. And then he took that and the several hundred kilos that he was able to get, or more, maybe closer to a metric ton or two, and have that made into pu'er. And so it was actually pretty nice. And so he probably made. I mean, it was a lot of work, but he probably made it's all profit for him, I guess. Yeah, that Yiwu, the Iron Forge show is pretty interesting stuff. Pretty good. There we go. Stressed about this button now. I'm worried it's not going to last much longer. It's all good, guys. We'll figure it out. We'll do it live. Big plans for the week? Anybody? Anybody got anything fun going on? I'm trying to think. What do we got? I don't know. So there, Between Two Teapots this week is actually going to be on next Sunday, actually. So normally we try and do it Friday or Saturday, but Sunday worked out pretty good. And it's James and Denny from TDB. We found Denny, and we got him to come onto the stream, and I'm pretty excited about that. So we're going to be doing 2 teas. James, actually, I just got it in the mail the other day. James sent us one of a little bit from one of his favorite teas. Let's see, 2000 Zipin. I'm not sure. So we'll talk to him about that when he comes on. That'll be exciting to try that. And then we're going to actually have some troublemaker. So the 3 of us are going to get together, and I still have to. I've got to re-update my streaming format so that I can get. I think I can get 3 people into the picture now. So I got to do that, and that'll be a lot of fun because yeah, it'll be me and James and Denny all in the same window, drinking tea together. And who do we have after that? After that it's gonna be a lot of fun. Shar, Oolong Owl, and our friend Janet, both local tea peeps, are going to be actually if Jared's still on here, Jared knows Janet, and he worked our booth together at the Northwest Tea Festival a couple years ago. And Janet is highly susceptible to tea energy. as is Oolong Owl, and I really enjoy having and drinking like really intense high energy teas with them, because it just goes like straight to their head and they get like entirely loopy. And so that's basically the premise of the episode. We're going to start off with Altered State, and we're going to like brew it like hard and strong, and then we're going to switch over to Stormbreaker after that and brew that hard and strong, and then we're just gonna see where it goes. And it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Janet said she hasn't had tea in a while, and so she's gonna like specifically like not drink tea a couple weeks before it. She gets like a huge tea energy reaction, and so we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be crazy fun. Watch a couple people get tea drunk, basically like Alka Michael and I over the weekend. There's barely like any like topic that we stayed on. We were just bouncing all over the place, talking about comic books and video games and movie, and then occasionally tea as well. It's kind of fun. Just the show. We basically ran until his the battery on his phone ran out, and then we're like, well, that's all we got. Jared's gonna go see Godzilla vs. Kong tomorrow. That should be fun. It looks good. I've heard mixed reviews, but I'd probably still see it. So you'll have to let me know how it is. Anybody else? You're actually gonna go see it in a theater? Ronan's been skiing in Alpental. Man, I love Alpental. I really do. That's pretty cool. Nice. I like Alpental. Just skiing, or like actual like skiing or snowboarding as well. What are you doing? For you guys that don't know, Pacific Northwest is a ski and snowboarders mini paradise. You can live in downtown Seattle, and you can be at like really amazing ski slopes within like 90 minutes, and it's pretty awesome. So Seattle's like at sea level, and then the mountains go straight up to like 5, 6, 7, 8,000 feet. There's a bunch of them up there, and there's a handful of them all over the place. You can go up to Baker, or you can go over Stevens Pass, Snoqualmie Pass, and each of the passes has a nice big ski resort up at the top. The biggest one is Snoqualmie, and Snoqualmie has like four major areas, like 3 on the south side of the highway, and then it's got 1 on the north side of the highway, which is called Alpental. Alpental is where it's all at. Alpental is just the Alpental is the absolute best. I love Alpental. And just ski these days. I still like snowboarding. Alpental is gorgeous, and it's not open as many in the same hours, primarily because it's on the it's like on the north side. So I don't know. It gets really dark. It gets really dark over there, and turns to ice and stuff a lot. Or I guess you got a lot of spring slush over there now. But the best thing about Alpental is like going all the way up to like to the top ski lift, which is like, how many ski lifts is it? You got to take like three to get there. I can't remember. So you take one, ski down to another one, take that one, ski down to that one, and then you take the last one. And I love it because there's just like 1,000 warning signs. There's like no easy way down. Like, don't go up here unless you're ready for like super mega death quadruple black super diamond. And then like that lift, the 2-person lift, starts off like this, and then just goes like straight up the side of the mountain. You're like, goes way up there. But cool, you like turn around and look, and see all the way over like the valley down to this giant like lake and stuff there. It's just like absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, you get up to the top, and it's a little bit easier on skis, because you're already like strapped in. But if like you got a snowboard, I'm like, that chair drops you off, and it's just like mega cliff this way, like mega cliff that way, and you've got like a 10-foot like window to like kind of like shoot down, 10-foot wide or something like that. And if you haven't strapped in your like snowboard, man, that's always stresses me out. Oh, I've been up there. Oh, I love it. It's just like I said, it stresses me out. But so much fun. And they're absolutely right. There's no easy way down. I mean, you can kind of like work it back and forth, but oh, so much fun. I love it. And I was up there with some friends when they had come from California, and they were talking a bunch of trash about how awesome they were at snowboarding, and I was like, well, I'll be honest, like I'm really not that good, but hey, let's go up to the top of Alpental. And they're like, yeah, whatever, that looks easy. And then they get up there, and I mean, I was fine because I'd been doing it a bunch, but being from California, all they'd ever like snowboarded was like Big Bear, and like Big Bear is like snowboarding at Disneyland. It's like it's just so easy, and they that's all they had ever snowboarded. They never actually been on like a mountain or a lift like that. And we're going further up the lift, and they're like, oh geez, we're getting really high, and yeah, they one run, they were done. We got down to the bottom, they're like, no, we're going home. I'm like, really? Like we just got here. Like that was no, we killed them, killed my friends. It's she was going down, and we just gotten down past one of the bigger sections, and she goes right over this bump, and like she just completely disappeared, and it took me a while to find her, and she'd gone over this and like went right into like a snowdrift, and her snowboard had come up behind her back, and she was like 45-degree down, like into like the snowdrift, and the snowboard it had packed snow, like, and the snowboard was actually up by her back, and she was like stuck like straight down, like she couldn't get out. So it took me a while. I had to dig her out. So I think after that she really didn't want to spend much more time out there. Now you can get in some dangerous situations out there. It's yeah, it's a little still a little wild, but I like Alpental very much. Who else enjoys winter sports? Any other skiers or snowboarders out there? I haven't skied or snowboarded in years now. In fact, well, probably since before we had kids. I wanted to teach Lamo how to snowboard. So like one Christmas, bought her a snowboard and some boots and all the stuff. And then that season, there was like almost just like no snow. I don't remember, it was like five or 6 years ago, and there was just like hardly any snow that season. So we didn't get a chance to go, and then just timing wise, just never had a chance since then. Nice. Happy's been skiing since you were 5. That's cool. I definitely don't take advantage of the winter sports up here as much as I should, but yeah, Jared, I saw your pictures. You went up there just about a month ago or so, right? Taking the kids inner tubing and stuff, but I've not really had a chance to go out there and have some fun skiing and snowboarding by myself. In fact, probably one of the last times I was snowboarding was just my uncle's got some property up outside of Leavenworth, and so I just grabbed my snowboard and some snowshoes, and I would just like hike up this little hill behind his house. Snowboard down, takes you an hour to hike up and 30 seconds to go down, but that was entertaining. Yeah, fun stuff. Pacific Northwest. It's a winter wonderland. Once the kids get a little bit older, I think it'll be easier to get them out to do some fun stuff. We had a fairly mild winter down here in the lowlands, down here in Seattle. We had our one little snowstorm, and that was pretty much it. No winter sports for you, Scobson? Sorry, man. But I mean, where you are, I mean, you could take like a $50 plane flight to the Swiss Alps in like half an hour or something, right? You're pretty close to some awesome stuff if you really wanted to get to it, I think. Yeah, pretty mild winter overall. In fact, this spring has actually been much colder than the winter actually was. Really cold spring. This tea's not bad. It's still pretty juicy. I think it's hard to give these teas like an honest comparison, especially when you know like what the source material like was. You know what it was before it was made into Huang Pian, or before it was picked off. But there we go. Let's take a look at some of these leaves. Look at that. It's nice. Nice big one there. It's kind of fun to play around with the leaves. You can learn some interesting stuff about them. People in China will tell you 1,000 things. They'll be like, oh, if you hold the leaf this way and you look at this edge and you look at that, then that means that this leaf was this or something like that. But sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. But rubbing the leaf, you can kind of tell how strong the actual material was. Usually, like the the tidy material, the bush-grown stuff. It's usually not as strong. You can kind of twist it in your fingers, just kind of crumbles out. So some of the older tree material is a little bit stronger. Oh, okay, Sculpson. So you got some knee issues. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, skiing and snowboarding are both pretty brutal on the old knees. I'm certainly feeling it. From all of my winters spent snowboarding. Maybe that's why they invented the luge. People with bad knees. There we go. But yeah, certainly a little bit trickier in the age of the Rona to fly to other places. But yeah, I think the slopes here did okay. I'm not really sure. Jared, how did they? What were the rules and regulations regarding distancing and stuff? I think isn't the coronavirus supposed to be able to transfer easier in the winter air and the cold weather air? But I guess most people are like wearing masks if you're skiing, anyways. I don't know. Not sure, but it's interesting to see how the science on some of that changes and moves around. Martin's considering blind purchasing a bunch of cakes of Thai Huang Pian, all to avoid your €12 shipping. Yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think of that Thai Huang Pian. There's some interesting stuff coming out of Burma, Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, that area there. Some interesting stuff coming out of that. I'm happy to see them coming into their own, as opposed to just kind of fake selling it as like a Yunnan tea to try to get on the hype craze. I would much rather see like actual like tea farmers in those areas get respected for what the material that they've got. So it's really good to be able to see that. I've had some interesting border teas. I've had some interesting stuff from Vietnam and some interesting stuff from Burma. I don't know if I've had any Thai sheng cha yet, but it's usually interesting. But it's really hard to get to a lot of the places, and so whoever has the ability to kind of like get out there can kind of charge whatever they want for it. Sometimes you can get a better price for performance from more established stuff in Yunnan, but really interesting stuff going on. DJ Paz, the real one. DJ Pasta, what's up, buddy? You made it on, brewing some Danger Zone. Nice. We've got Hekai here, Hekai material as well. Greetings from Vienna, Seattle to Vienna. What's the weather like over there, man? You still got snow? Is it cold and chilly? Jared, limited number of people allowed on the hill each day. Reservations needed. Required to wear a mask for the lift. They didn't make people ride up with people not in your group. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, thought about bringing the kids up to do some sledding, but it's just timing. We were even though we really didn't have like a lot of like actual like activities and things this last winter, we kept ourselves pretty busy and didn't really have a lot of time to pack the kids up, bring them up there. But maybe next year. We did do some sledding around here, just for fun. The one day it snowed. Kids enjoyed that. Can trees really be several hundreds of years old, or is it only the gardens that reach that age? Martin, it's a really good question. The short answer is yeah, they absolutely can. They can be really old. You can get really old trees, and but when it comes down to actually determining how old the trees are, there's no good non-destructive way to do that. They look at individual varietals, and like they measure like trunk and height and branch width, and then they compare that against ones where they have like a known record, like some of the bigger areas like Kunlushan or Iwu, like places that were actual like tribute tea areas, have relatively reliable record keeping. Record keeping through the different dynasties in China, though, can kind of be hit or miss. Sometimes, you know, like a dynasty comes in and they just like purge all the records from the old one, and then now they're the new boss. And so sometimes it's hard to really know what happened in dynasties before the last one. But you've got like written records and spoken records, and they can talk with really old people in the village, you know, who maybe remembered something when those gardens were that and when they were planted, or if they were already there. And so you can kind of get an idea. But the problem is, it really comes down to fertilizer and how well that plant, what sort of like nutrients it has, trees, and also how they were cut and managed. If trees are continuously like trimmed down to be a bush, so that they're easy to cut, they can be 100 years old and only be like this big. But then like this other one that was allowed to grow and not be cut can be, you know, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 feet tall, and it's only 50 years old. So, but it's not, looking at the size of it, it's not entirely all of it. So they go through, they do all sorts of different stuff. There's a certain type of like not a fungus, but like a moss that grows on the tree, and you know, like they say, okay, well, this moss only grows at this certain rate, and if this tree has like a bunch of it, then. But I've also seen it growing pretty quick on like younger trees too, so it kind of goes back and forth. But yeah, there are absolutely really old trees, and you know, if the tree dies, you know, like they can cut it down and they can, you know, like count the rings and stuff like that. But it's yeah, without cutting a tree down, it's hard to really know exactly how old it was. But there's some really big, really old trees. There's also a lot of BS in the industry. Everybody's claiming that they're the only ones that can have it. A lot of these villages and stuff, you know, something like Kunlushan, you know, only has like less than 400 old trees, something like that. I mean, like really old trees. You've got different categories. They've got, you know, like the trees that are managed as a bush. Those are called, you know, like terrace tea, bush tea, tidy. And then you've got small arbor tree, which is the same thing, but it's just kind of allowed to grow. And then you've got like big tree, and then you've got like old tree. And yeah, the actual old tree material is just ridiculously expensive. Good question though. Spring weather, 18°C and sunny. Next days there will be some snow. Got to convert that over to Fahrenheit for our Western friends. 18°C. Oh, 64. That's not that's not too bad. That's nice. That's really nice. What do we got right now? Let's see. Let's Google Linwood weather. See what it's like. It's been getting really cold in the nights. Getting down around 0°C at night, 32ish. Spool string. Hi from the UK. What's going on? Brewing some slumbering dragon. That's awesome. Great. Thank you for brewing it. That's some pretty good stuff. That's the way to get your Monday going. Yeah. If you got any other questions, Martin, just hit me up. Linwood right now in the morning, 10:42 a.m. It is 8 degrees Celsius or 46. So a little chilly, but this week might be warming up. Might be warming up a little bit. Where we are, there's this interesting thing. It's just like when it's really cloudy is when it's warm. The clouds definitely in this area act like an insulative blanket. Clouds go away, it gets super cold. The clouds go away, and then it's like sunny, which is nice. But then, yeah. So if it's cloudy, it's generally warmer. Nice. You know what? I might switch things up a little bit. Go to a different tea. See how this there we go. I'm gonna do it right now. Use the same pot. Ruben K, you've noticed that plants have their own growing times, not do much all year, and then in 2 months it happens when you wouldn't expect. Yeah, you'll see that a lot in Yunnan. Even just in a random like couple week window, and like we went to one tea garden. I don't know why. We went to this one tea garden. The farmer's like, yeah, we're picking stuff, and then we went out there, and he's just like, oh. I mean, it was like a 2-day drive out there. He's like, oh, did I tell you we're picking things? We're not ready. We won't be ready to pick for 2 weeks. And we're like, what? Like, dude, it takes a lot of work to get out here. We're pretty frustrated. We ended up spending a couple days around there just kind of like looking at stuff, taking pictures and videos of the trees. Came back like 2 weeks later, and like there's like this much like growth on some of the trees. It's like, oh my gosh, like that's amazing. So it was actually very informative to be able to be there at the different times to kind of see like how much spring growth comes in as soon as the weather gets right. Pretty cool to see that. 8 degrees. It's like a good spring day. It is a good spring day. This is really nice. I like spring in Seattle because it's just everything's really nice, and it does rain a decent amount, but I don't know. I like to wear like hoodies and like jackets and things like that. I'm not really like a super short shorts and t-shirts all the time, and so if I don't, this is like the perfect weather because I can kind of dress the way I want to dress and not and still be comfortable, not get too hot. So. So this works out. This works out pretty nice for my my style. All right, Bongwei Old Tree. Pretty pricey stuff. What would let's see, what would a cake of this go for? Yeah, this is pretty pricey stuff. Let me see. Run some. Do a quick calculation. Give this a try. Bongwei is a couple days drive from Hekai. Bongwei is closer to Jingmai. You're kind of moving, going around as the clock. If I look at Yunnan like a clock, Kunming's like at 1 o'clock. Kunlushan's like at 3 o'clock. All of Menghai. It's like 6 o'clock, so Hekai would be like 5:30ish, and then Bongwei would be maybe like a 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that, going around there. I'm not really a board shorts and thongs kind of bloke, although I usually about this time of year switch over to camouflage cargo pants. but I don't wear thongs, but I will do that, and it's about that time. But even still, I still like to wear like a shirt and couple layers and stuff. The weather can be can jump around here a lot, and so even when it's warm during the day, it can get pretty cold at night. So it's a nice idea to kind of do like a layered approach. Let's see. Yeah, this would be let's see. Yeah, if this material was pressed into 200-gram cakes, these cakes would have to sell for about $50, $150. So nice stuff, pretty cool, pretty nice little matcha material. I like Bongwei. Play around with this, see how this goes. Skovson, yeah, Melbourne, Australia. It's Seattle is eerily similar to Melbourne. My brother used to live in Melbourne. I visited him there and spent some time in Melbourne. Seattle and Melbourne have a lot in common. In fact, like if you took the U.S., right? The U.S. kind of like a big block like this. You got Seattle up in the top left. If you took the whole U.S. and flipped it around, like you've got Australia and that's Melbourne. So they're roughly about the same distance from the poles. I think Melbourne's actually closer, and they're both on the coast, on an edge, on a corner. They're both like really artistic city. There's lots of music, craft beers and coffees and stuff like that. And the climate is really similar. Although Melbourne gets like crazy hot in the summertime, and I don't think Seattle really gets that hot. But it's a good comparison. Jared wants to know if I've ever rocked the Utilikilt. I'm gonna have to explain this for everybody who's not from the Seattle, the Pacific Northwest. There's a company in Seattle called Utilikilt that sells utility kilts. So basically, like cargo short kilts out of like really high end, like canvas, like fire hose type material, and super popular here. So people wear kilts all the time. My brother is like the big kilt guy. He's got like, I don't know how many kilts he's got. They're all Utilakilts. I have worn them, but I don't really consider myself a kilt guy, I guess. I don't know. There's a definite image. There's a definite type of person who becomes like the kilt guy, and I'm definitely not the kilt guy or a kilt guy. But I've worn them before, but I don't own any of them. I prefer a sarong. So funny story. I used to work downtown, like right next to the main Utilikilt store, right down in Pioneer Square. And I was walking by one day, and there's a guy inside polishing this big old dirty chopper, big stretched motorcycle sitting like in the shop. You know, all the cool shops. You know, you gotta if it's a manly industrial clothing type shop, you gotta have some sort of motorcycle on display in there. So I walked in there. I'm like, dude, it's a pretty sweet bike. And the guy in there, his name's Crash. He's actually the owner of Utilikilt company. He's like, yeah, it's for sale. You want it? And I was like, maybe. Like, I have a little money right now. This is like 10 years ago. Like, sure. He's like, well, I don't know if it runs. He's like, tell you what, like, come by like Saturday morning, like about 6 a.m. before I open the shop. Bring your tools, put it outside, and get it to run. Make me an offer. And I'm like, sure, man. Sounds good. So I went down there, like brought all my tools. I don't know anything about old Harleys, but brought all my old tools. I didn't even know, like I didn't even have like a portable fuel gas can or something like that. So but I had a big huge Jägermeister, like full size, like 2-liter bottle, like the glass ones. And so I just poured a bunch of gas in there, screwed it down, like went down there. Actually just took the bus down there with all my tools, set up on the outside of the street, right on the sidewalk, downtown Seattle, Pioneer Square. Just got to work wrenching. And like I stepped away for just a second, and like some homeless dude's digging through my stuff, and I don't know, he just like a homing beacon, like went straight for like that big huge like bottle of a Jägermeister that he thought was Jägermeister, and he's sitting there unscrewing it, ready to take a swig. And I'm like, dude, it's gasoline. Like, stop. What? Get out of here. I do seem borderline Utilikilt. Yeah, I'm borderline Utilikilt. They're pretty fun. The Utilakilts, you can Google them. It's pretty cool. They've got a pretty good business. But I guess I prefer cargo shorts. So anyways, yeah. So I actually get this bike. I get this bike going. I get the bike working. Oh, it's such a gorgeous looking bike. I'll give you a picture of it. I actually I did buy it from him. It needs a little bit more work now, but I rode it for a while. Gorgeous bike, 1968 Harley Davidson Ironhead chopper, like dropped, stretched. It's gorgeous. I don't know anything about riding a chopper. I've ridden tons of motorcycles, but I've never ridden a bike like that, and that is just it is not an easy bike to ride. But hey, I wanted to do a test ride of it first. And he's like, hey man, cash up front. He's like, I know you got it working, but if you want to give it a test drive, I need some money. So gave him the money, and then I just like sat on it and took off downtown Seattle, First Avenue, going north. This crazy loud, just crazy chopper. And I quickly realized, like, those long stretched like motorcycles, they are really great for going in a straight line, but like good luck if you ever want to like try and like turn them or take a corner. And the clutch wasn't working right, and like I'm just like, I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to stop. I finally was able to take a corner, but it's like when they're stretched out that far, like the slightest movement either direction, like the bike just like drops like really quick. I'll pull it out. I'll show you guys a picture of it. Gorgeous bike, gorgeous bike. Tell me about my hey, Heidi Burgers out of Rest Stop. She wants about my travel kettle. Shoot, I can't think of it. What was it? The Minimo. What is it by? You got me off topic. I'll tell you what. Let me pull up some a picture here so I can show off. My sweet ride. My chopper. Where's it at? I don't know. maybe you guys aren't interested in hearing about motorcycles, but this is just the most beautiful bike ever. I think it's the most beautiful bike. There we go. There's me. Look at that. Look at that beautiful bike. Tell me that's not a beautiful motorcycle. That is a beautiful motorcycle. So, how can you not fall in love with that, man? Thing's like a friggin' work of art, right? Has a manual shift, right? So you actually have to shift it on the right side with this giant skull shift knob. Bike's a total death trap. Yes, but so much fun. You never feel more alive when you're on a bike like that. Gorgeous bike, love that bike. Jetboil, the Jetboil Minimo. There you go, Heidi Burger. That's what we got. The Jetboil Minimo. They're like $100. Perfect, especially if you're brewing tea. It takes hardly any time at all. Just a quick boil, like 100 ml, 150 ml, whatever you're needing. Then the Gong Fu to go, that and some tea. Perfect. Oh, there we go. Oh, this tea's potent. Beautiful, dangerous bike. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love that bike. Love that motorcycle. I got to get it fixed up. Actually, I probably need to just probably need to sell it. Let it go on to the next owner. It's a funny old bike because there's no electronics on it at all. It doesn't have a battery, doesn't have an electric start, so it's a kickstart only. And those old bikes, man, like the compression ratio on them is just, it's so high. Like if you don't get that kick right, like the engine just snaps that kickstart back, you can actually just throw yourself way off the bike, or you could easily break a knee just starting it up. It's not a beginner's bike at all. Oh, just love it. Love that bike. No, the Jetboil doesn't plug into a truck. The Jetboil is just gas only. So you got like a little screw on gas canister. But if you're looking for like an in-car boiling system, I don't know if that's going to work well. It takes so much electric power. What's a pentane? I'm not sure. What are we looking at for I'm not sure what you're talking about. Versus propane. Yeah, the Jetboil system uses like a special combination propane fuel. Well, if you've got a 115 volt plug in your truck, you could give it a try. I'd probably go with those drop-in ones, little drop-in travel boilers. You know, it's like it clips onto the side of a mug, and it's got a couple coils and comes back. That's probably what I'd try if I was trying to like boil water when I go. But if I was pulled over at a rest stop, I'd pull out the Jetboil because it just boils so fast. Boil it up, pour a bunch of boiling water into a thermos, and then go again. That's what I'd do. Yeah, David G, what's going on? What are you drinking today, man? Boy, we're talking about all sorts of stuff today. Motorcycles, tea, movies, skiing, and snowboarding. Oh yeah, this tea's potent. Quite the pick me up from the Huang Pian. The Huang Pian was nice, but Huang Pian's generally a lighter, more delicate experience. Really nice in an evening tea when you're not really wanting something punchy. But this is what I needed to get my morning going. This old Bangwei old tree. Whew, there we go. Nice. That's it. I'm waking myself up. This has the Bangwei Yun. David G drinking the whey. There you go. That's nice. Nice little strong show pu'er. Yeah, those coil things work pretty good, Heidi Burger, and they're only like $5 or $6. And if you're out traveling, if you're road tripping, you should be able to stop at nearly any big truck stop, and they probably have them hanging on the shelf there for like $3 or $4 or something like that. They're pretty popular for travel items. What's going on, Ro? You're in here. Hey, what's going on? When you used to live in Vancouver, there was a day once a year where everyone would go out and ride their motorcycle. It was so cool seeing hundreds of crazy bikes riding around. Oh, I love it. A big group of bikes in the area is always fun. There's a handful of them in the Pacific Northwest, but they generally get really popular. And as soon as you get popular, then it becomes a magnet for squids If you guys don't know what squids are, squids is just like the generic term for like an idiot on a motorcycle. I'm not entirely certain how it came, where that term came from, but yeah. You get a bunch of squids out there, and they're just being idiots. They're not wearing good gear. They're not wearing good helmets, and they're out there just like doing wheelies and just being all around assholes. And then it gives a bad name to everybody else who's just out there to have fun. And then the event gets shut down. So probably the biggest group ride in the Pacific Northwest is the Isle of Vashon. It's a public event, but it's unannounced. It's managed and operated by the Vintage Motorcycle Enthusiasts Club, the VME, which is also a private membership club. If you're in the VME, you basically get about a 12-hour notice, and so they will tell you the night before the event is going to happen. And you've got to be on the ferry, and you got to show up at the island, Vashon, and that's the way they keep most of the idiots out of the event. Isle of Vashon, ton of fun, really cool TT event. Oh, Sturgis is nuts. You going to Sturgis, Heidi? Where are you at? Yeah, what are you doing? Where's your road trip? Where are you going, Heidi? David G, strong and smooth. Yeah, that is the way. Oh, what was I talking about? I was talking about Bangwei, the yun. Yun is an interesting concept. I've probably talked about it before. Sometimes yun is the idea that a tea can have an essence, something that's not really defined by anything else, or maybe it's defined by everything in a gestalt sort of manner. But yun is traditionally in Chinese defined as like a sixth character that defines a tea, and every specific mountain is supposed to have its essence. So if you understand what that essence is, you could drink a tea from Yiwu that may not taste like an Yiwu tea, but it gave you like that essence of Yiwu. If it really is from Yiwu, that's kind of how it's described. And the Bangwei yun for me is like really noticeable. There's just something about this that always just like brings back a bunch of Bangwei memories. Not always the best memories. Bangwei is an interesting place. A lot of the cities in Yunnan don't really have a proper sewer system, so they kind of operate this like open sewer thing. So everyone basically just like more or less poops in buckets and dumps it in the sewer, and they wait for the dump it in the side of the street, and they wait for the rain to kind of like wash it all down the mountain. Excuse me. And if you haven't had rain for a while, Bangwei has a very special aroma. Martin, is there any reason to worry about young sheng, 2 years old and up, entering this awkward stage? I hear about it stored in the Western Mylar Bovitas. It is what it is. Sometimes you get teas that are in awkward phases, and then sometimes like a couple months later they're not in the awkward phase anymore. So it can kind of come and go. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, this is the way. This is the way of pu'er. There are awkward stages. I mean, these things are like living and growing, and I just kind of like let it go, let it work its way through that. It's like my kid right now is he's in the terrible twos. It's a phase. He'll work his way. He'll get through it. Heidelberger grew up in Minnesota, lived in France. Now you're in Wisconsin, on your way to South Dakota border right now. 82 and super dry here. I like the Dakotas. I really like the Dakotas. I like the American West a lot. I really like that. I like the dry climates. I like the dusty things. I like I don't know. Maybe I've got a little bit of the old West romance of the West still in my blood. I love cowboys and Wild West kind of imagery, and the Dakotas are certainly fit that. But most of my family's actually from the Wisconsin area. That's where my dad grew up. Got a lot of relatives back there, Wisconsin, Michigan, Michigan area. But no, I like the Dakotas a lot. So you're so where are you headed? You seem to be going west. You coming towards the Seattle area? You coming out here to not have tea with us in person because we're not doing tea tasting right now. Oh, that's tough. I really hate that. I wish I could have some tea people over. That'd be very nice. I could do with that. I could do with some tea peeps. Oh, the Black Hills are great. Yeah. Love that area. We went on a big road trip when we were kids and spent a lot of time driving through that area, going to all of the major like national parks and tourist areas in the back of my our parents' 1980s station wagon. A lot of good memories of that as a trip as a kid. 82 and dry though. That sounds pretty nice. I could go for that. Now's probably the time to head through that area. Another couple months, it's gonna be a little bit hotter. You want this teapot? This one here. This is a cutie. This is one of our Gen 1 tall shipiaos. It's really great for look at that. It's actually a really nice color. This one's really great for Mao. We've got more teapots coming soon, guys. Got more teapots. More on the way. In fact, most of them are relatively almost done. DJ Paz, the real one, my pasta brother. You got to go, man. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a good week too. Yeah, we got more. Like I said, more teapots. More teapots coming soon. We've put in a pretty big substantial order that should last us for a while. We've got white pots, black pots, brown pots. The white clay ones are actually going to be pretty cool. And also some fun fairness cups. Check out these guys here. I really like these. They got a really nice polish on them. We're having them do something really cool. Put right in the background there. Put like a red glaze, so that when it's actually fired, you kind of got red. I'm gonna call it the Crimson Sky cups. Nice little Gen Shui fairness cups. These are gonna be fun to use. Nice little Yunnan clouds. Pretty cool. Excited about those. Yeah, wide opening, nice big mouth. Don't get me wrong. Like I really love Dragon's Egg, right? Like these ones here and stuff. But it's just like if you're doing Mao Cha, it's really hard to get material in there. So if you wanna, that thing works great if you've got like a compressed tea and you can kind of shove it in there. Take my money. I love it. I will very soon. As soon as the teapots are up there. The white clay teapots are gorgeous. Really excited about those. I actually don't have any Gen Shui white clay here to show examples of what it's like. I've sold all the white clay ones that we've got, but Gen Shui white clay is absolutely gorgeous when it's been polished really heavily. So we're actually paying extra to have them like super heavy polish on there, and it's just got this bone white like luster to it. Really cool. Have I seen the Star Wars The Bad Batch trailer? Have I seen that? I don't know. Let me see. Well, the Bad Batch sounds familiar, but I don't know about the Star Wars Bad Batch. Oh no, actually, I have not seen the trailer for that. I'll check that out afterwards. Isn't the Bad Batch a movie, like a Western movie or something? Wasn't that something else? What is that? Oh no! That's what it was. Bad Batch was that weird movie with Jason Momoa. Interesting movie, but very strange. I remember, I watched Bad Batch. Okay, so Star Wars: The Bad Batch. They just use the same name. I'll check it out. I need to get caught up on the Star Wars animated series. But if Dave Filoni is behind it, I mean, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's releasing in May on Disney Plus. Cool. I do have Disney Plus. A friend and I bought a shared account, or we share an account. He and I are both big Star Wars peeps. Yeah, it's kind of fun because I can, if you've got Disney Plus, you can actually, if you've got like an iPad or something, you can actually download the movies to the device, which makes it handy when you're trying to entertain kids out on the go when you don't have internet access. You can just let them watch a movie that's on there. Although the UI for all the Disney stuff is just absolute garbage. I can't stand it. I can't stand their streaming UI. Like, it never makes any sense to me. I don't like it at all. I think the UI is horrible. But at least for the Disney stuff that's streaming, it's pretty good. It's interesting though, like what they choose to actually like include from their archive and what they don't. There's some interesting missing stuff that I wish I could still see. Specifically, what's that? Disney made for TV 2-part series in the 80s. Earth Star Voyager. Does anyone remember that? I think I've chatted about this before, but I kind of want to watch Earth Star Voyager again, but it's not included in the Disney streaming setup. But it's tea. It's juicy, really juicy. Yeah, like I said, Jugpan, I gotta get caught up on the Star Wars animated series stuff. I'm a little bit behind. Watched a bunch of it for a while, but haven't seen it recently. Gotta get it figured out. Watch it up. I actually never watched the Clone Wars. I think I watched like the first couple episodes and when they were first coming out, and just really didn't vibe with me. But what was the other one? With Ezra Bridger, I can't remember. I watched most of those, but haven't gotten caught up. So I need to do that. But yeah, Dave Filoni's been doing good stuff. Obcan hopes your Crimson Lotus Tea samples arrive soon, so you'll be able to place a bigger order with cakes in a cool white pot. Hopefully there'll be some smaller pots. Small pots they're really hard. We're getting a lot of pushback from the potters on just the amount of work it takes to do quality small pots. It's just hard. It's a lot of work. So I think we're roughly going to be like hitting pots in that 100 to 120 ml range. It's honestly not an exact science. It's kind of hard. Like there's so much like shrink in the kiln, so you got to build it at this size, and then it shrinks to this size, and depending on how like thick the walls are, it's kind of hard to know exactly like what the pot is going to be exactly when it comes out. So, but that's the rough window that we're going to be trying to hit towards. I think I know people want like really small pots, but I think that's excuse me, some of the allergies are getting to me. hitting around like the 110, 100, 120 range is probably where you're going to see most of our pots line up. And I know that can be a little frustrating for people sometimes, but sometimes it comes down to like a business decision, trying to figure out like it's a significant investment making this many teapots, and trying to make them in all the sizes that everybody wants. Sometimes just doesn't work out real well, unfortunately. So we'll see what comes out of the kiln, and we'll go from there. And I hope people can understand and maybe appreciate some of the sizes that they have, even if it's not exactly what they want. I know some people get pretty particular about that. I myself don't really get super particular. If it's roughly in the area, roughly in the range, if it's 10 or 15% off in either direction, it doesn't really bother me a whole lot. But I know some people it really does. So I apologize for that. I can get a quick brief on the storyline for Clone Wars on YouTube and how it's tied to the Mandalorian. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Send me a link to something that you think would be good to. I'm not worried about spoilers. I do just kind of want to get get caught up on the whole thing. But that said, I did actually start going through the Clone Wars. I don't know, something. I guess when it came out, it just wasn't really my thing at that time. But it just seemed a little too juvenile. But it looks like they actually worked with the storyline, modified things a little bit. Trying to think other teaware stuff that we got. No, I think it's just those things. I am going to try to get some more of these black cups made, because these are my favorite black cups. But that's a pretty pricey endeavor, because these cups are not. This clay is just stupid expensive, and you've got to basically buy enough to fill the whole whatever you buy, whether it's cups or guy ones. You got to buy enough to fill the whole kiln, and a bunch of it's just not going to like come out well, which is kind of sad. It's just really finicky clay to heat. It gets liquid pretty quick and just starts to melt. Rum Barrel show any new releases? Yeah, I gotta get the Rum Barrel stuff on the site. Just been pretty slammed with a lot of work and tea and non-tea related stuff. So it's been been a little tricky. So I apologize that we haven't gotten the rum barrel stuff on the site, but I do need to do that. In fact, like the next time we do it, I think it's going to be a double batch, so it should be like about maybe about 80 jars that we can actually sell, which will be nice. And it'll all be in the jars. It's a little tricky trying to sell some in jars and some out of jars. Isn't the new Star Wars and modern movies filled with SJW, New Age, philosophy poison? I don't know. I'm not. I mean, everybody's got an angle they're trying to push, you know. So I can see that. I mean, if that's the way you want to if that's the way you want to phrase it. But all the original stuff did as well, like, you know, concepts of, you know, like the Force and mystery and things in the background, and, you know, like overarching, you know, like power schemes and stuff like that. It's like, you know, whatever, man. I can enjoy it for what it is. I don't really worry about that. But Ro needs to watch Star Wars. You know, seriously, Ro, are you gonna be that guy? Are you gonna be the one who's just like, hey, I've never watched Star Wars? Come on, Ro, you're killing me. So you watched the Star Wars from 2015. You didn't know what was happening. Good Lord, Ro. Good Lord, Ro, you guys, Ro, you got to remedy this. Shoot, man. All right, you guys. Ro's never watched any Star Wars movie except for whatever came out in 2015. So how do we get him started right? Do we jump back to the original trilogy? Do we go into the alternate order? I'm halfway tempted just to have him start off on Rogue One. You know, Rogue One's just such a perfect Star Wars film, in my opinion. Jared McFarlane, Jared, we are going to have to definitely agree to disagree. Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker are absolute garbage dumps of films. Absolute garbage dump. Best thing to happen to Star Wars in the last 30 years is The Mandalorian, hands down. I am fully convinced that the sequel movies, all three of them, are a fever dream that Rey had as she was dying in the desert. If I can describe it that way, those movies are absolute garbage. Start off with Rogue One. Ro, your name's Ro. Rogue One. Start off with Rogue One. Absolute incredible Star Wars film. Doesn't even get into like any of the big storylines really, but go with Rogue One and then go to A New Hope right from there. Rogue One, A New Hope. Just start there. Then Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. Rise of the Clones? What is Rise of the Clones? Attack of the Clones? Was it Rise of the Clones? I don't even remember some of the names of them. Yeah, Ro, hit me up afterwards. Rogue One, then jump right into Star Wars: A New Hope. Then you got to throw in a little Empire, and then from there, I don't really care where you take it. If you're not hooked within those three movies, then it's not really for you. It's just crazy, man. It's hard to hear that. Like, Star Wars is such an integral part of my childhood and life and everything. It's hard to imagine existing without it. Yeah, Jared, you should check out the Star Wars section of Disneyland. They've got a lot of really great dancing. Like, I don't know, like the way that Disney's like, I don't know. When I saw like a bunch of like stormtroopers and Boba Fett and Darth Vader like dancing on stage, I'm like, wow, that's just peak Disney. Like, thanks, Walt. Like that's your gift to us, a bunch of dancing stormtroopers. I don't know. Maybe there's a market for that. Maybe stormtroopers really were dancers. I don't know. Ro, you absolutely have to get onto it. Rogue One is an absolute incredible movie. But I mean, like in like the sci-fi genre, Star Wars is really fairly pedestrian to be honest. I mean, like there's like much better actual like sci-fi out there. Star Wars just kind of like wears this mask of sci-fi fantasy to tell an entirely different story. But I don't think it's not. They don't really hold true to like a lot of science fiction ideals, and the science that they actually do in there is relatively awkward. You know, blasters in space and, you know, like hearing sounds in space. I mean, things like that. So stuff doesn't work if you want like more pure sci-fi, but definitely more on the fiction than the science side. Do I play Battlefront 2? I do not. I play a little bit of PUBG Mobile now, and that's about all I have time for. Jared, I don't understand the Star Wars dancing. I don't understand it at all. I get it. I get it. It's Disney, and they've got like these, you know, like stage shows that they've got to do, but like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of time for games. Stargate. Oh, Jugpan. Stargate was awesome. The Stargate movie. I didn't really get into the Stargate show. I thought the show was, I don't know. I didn't really like the show, but like the original Stargate movie. Oh, that was like super cool. I remember I was really into, you know, Egyptian mythology and stuff at that point in time. Watching that movie, I was like, oh my gosh, this is super cool. I just really like the retelling of how, you know, like Egyptian mythology might have been influenced externally via aliens and stuff like that. Yeah, the original Stargate, gorgeous movie, incredible. I loved it. I need to show it to Llama. I don't think he's actually seen that movie. It's been a while. Yeah, funny thing with I really love Third Rock from the Sun, and it's a little sci-fi themed TV comedy show. Like the really annoying or the weird older brother character is like the main like head Marine from Stargate. It's such a dramatic range of possibility for that actor to go from those two entirely different characters. I was really surprised. I was like, wait a minute, is that that guy from Third Rock from the Sun? It's crazy. But no, Stargate's great. Stargate's a ton of fun. Yeah, Ro, that's your plan. That's your plan for today. I'm sorry, you got nothing else to do. I know you've got school and stuff, but Rogue One, get it done. You got to watch it. Watch it today. Report back. Let me know once you've watched it, and you can PM me any Star Wars questions if you got. I'll put you on the right path. Oh yeah, Jugpan, Fifth Element. I remember like Fifth Element being in theaters, and the way it was advertised, and like I remember seeing it, I was like, man, this just looks really dumb. And I don't even remember I remember seeing like one trailer for it. It was not promoted. It flopped in the box office. It just nobody saw it, and they really started to push it once it came to like VHS, and so that's where I actually watched it on VHS, rented it. Blew my mind. I was just like, I was working in a media center at the university. My friend and I like just watched it like in the back like media room, and both he and I like looked at each other, and we took the tape out and immediately walked over to like the tape duping station and made like 2 copies immediately. It was just like, yeah, we need a copy of this. And oh man, I just burned through that. I've watched that so many times. Love it. Fifth Element, just absolutely incredible movie. Jared, that's interesting. I actually really I got to the point where I really didn't. I was more fascinated with like the Star Wars universe, and I got to the point where I just didn't really care what happened to the Skywalkers anymore. That said, Mandalorian, last episode of Mandalorian season 2. I don't know. Can we talk about that yet? Has everybody seen it? I don't even want to. I don't know. So many spoilers. Did you watch Mandalorian, Jared? I don't want to mess it up, but I was very, very, very pleased with what they did with the end of season 2 of Mandalorian. Even though if you'd told me that that's what they were going to do ahead of time, I would have laughed and said it's the stupidest decision ever. But then actually like seeing it happen, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Oh, Jared, we can't talk anymore, man. You got to plow through it. You got to plow through Mandalorian. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it offline. Message me, hit me up. Maybe we could do like a little private Zoom session. Maybe we could just do that anyways, like Star Wars and tea. You guys want to have like a small little Zoom tea class? We could just sit here and just talk specifically about Star Wars and tea. Jugpan, I cried. Like there were tears. Like season 2, final episode of The Mandalorian. Like, Lama's looking at me and she's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, how can I describe to you all of the emotion of 40 years of Star Wars fandom peaking right at that episode of The Mandalorian? I had no idea like how much I really needed to see that episode. Oh, even thinking about it right now. Whew. It's weird. I'm not an emotional guy like that, but good Lord, man, like that episode. Oh. Appkin's connection died. Sorry about that, man. Thanks for the info about the pots. 120 ml sounds good. Yeah, 120 ml, it works good. It's a really good medium range. It's versatile. Like, you can put a little less leaf in there if you really want to get smaller, but you know, you can do it a little bit more. It works good if you want to have multiple sessions with other people and stuff. Jogpan, I know, like that build up, like I don't even want to, like, I can't talk about it. Like, we'll message me privately. We can talk about it. But just like that build up, like every single layer, like you're sitting there like a couple episodes before, you're like, well, is it really gonna happen? Like, what's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who's that thing gonna be? And then like the layers, like, oh, that's that. And then like, oh my God, they just revealed it like perfectly, like peeling like layers off an onion. Especially like the and I'm trying to be like as non-spoilerish as possible because Jared's here, and so I'm not gonna like reveal anything, but just seeing like the Mandalorian is so badass, and like just the amount of like effort it took him like to do what he had to do in that last episode, and then like the thing comes in just like, and you're like, man, just shows like the scale, like the real scale. And I don't think a lot of the movies really focus on like the scale of the difference in power between force wielders and non-force wielders. I just don't really think that it captures that much more than like that one episode. Oh, so good. Rogue One, absolutely. Abken, I will fight anybody that disagrees. I think Rogue One is the best movie after the original trilogy. And in the original trilogy, it's Empire. And I would. They're fighting. I'll never not love Empire Strikes Back. But Rogue One, just such a perfect film. And they, you know, like they didn't have to tell anything in the Skywalker line. And Jared, I know you like the Skywalker family and the Skywalker storyline, but Rogue One was, it just lets you see so many other interesting characters. And I can't say anything more because I'm gonna go watch Rogue One now. So good, such a good cast too. Really like seeing Danny Yen, the Chinese guy. Oh, so cool. Llama's like, she's like, wait a minute, like what are these Chinese characters doing in there? These are like Chinese actors. Like, she was pretty excited to see them in there. Great film. What other we don't want to, because we don't want to oversaturate Ro too early. Let's we'll put him on the path. We'll give him some more suggestions later. But yeah, Ro, when you're ready for more suggestions, let me know. After you watch Rogue One, hit me up. And then you should probably jump straight into A New Hope right after that, because they totally make sense. Those movies are bookends. They're right there. They just segue straight into each other. I think that's one of the reasons why it really vibed for me. Rogue One, literally like no separation at all from like the first Star Wars movie. It's just like chunk, like right there. Perfect. Oh man, I can talk about Star Wars all day, guys. I should probably wind things down here a little bit. This is a fun tea. Really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you guys joining me. I'll probably keep drinking this tea for a couple more minutes here. If you guys have any final questions, anything you want to ask me about, any tea questions? I know we've talked about sci-fi exclusively for a while now, but if you have any actual tea questions, let me know. I'll let you. I will do my best to answer them. Yeah, well, Jared, that's okay. I don't need canon in the the Star Wars universe is so big. It's so big, and there's like more people in there than Skywalkers, and I just want to explore. I want to go around, and I want to see all that stuff. That's why I love it. Mandalorian, like you can tell like a great story that doesn't really even have to do. It's barely even like like in the Empire storyline. It's just dude in the galaxy. What's he doing? Like so much that happens in there, and like the pure focus on Skywalker. The Skywalker story, the Skywalker family, just after a while, just gets kind of heavy. You want to have something a little bit different. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Once it came down into the end of that, you're just like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And finally, like seeing Vader being a badass. You look at the original trilogy, and like Vader's just like, I mean, he does some things. He's like, there's all this like myth. He's like, oh my gosh, it's Vader. But like, watching in Rogue One, seeing like what he can actually do is like just destroying people. You're like, okay, Vader. Yeah, I get it now. Awesome. The T-shirt says it all. There we go, guys. There we go. This is the way. Ruben moved on to a duck poop oolong, a poolong. I love that name. Huang Pian is too late. Huang Pian is a little too late. It's a little too late for a Monday morning. I realized that. I needed to jump over. You're absolutely right. Didn't mention the price point of the Fairness Cup. What's it going to be roughly? I haven't ran the numbers. Probably 50-ish. I think I need to double check with Lamu. We had to pay a little bit extra because it's get a second kiln firing to get like that nice like a red glaze behind the sky. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, you're right. Huang Pian's too late. Reminds me of that. What was that movie? I love that movie. The Professional with Jean Reno and Gary Oldman. That intro scene when Gary Oldman comes in and like he takes those drugs and puts like the music on and goes in there and just starts like killing tons of people, and he makes some comment about he's just like normally I prefer listening to Mozart, but for this type of work it's just a little too light. It's just this funny idea. It's like he needed a heavy dense music, and he's just like, yeah, but it's only strong in the beginning. He's like, that's why I stopped. It's just such a funny scene. But you're right, Huang Pian is a little too light for a Monday morning, so I found that out. That's why I jumped into some Bongwei Old Tree. Perked me right up. There we go. Ready to go. Ready to get my Monday going. Get my week started. It's good stuff. All right, guys. I'm probably gonna call it here. This was where's my mouse? This was fun. Sorry, it took a little while to get the stream going. Didn't expect to get a knock on the door. I have to play Vader Immortal on VR. Someday. I have not made the jump into VR games yet. That's a rabbit's hole that I don't have the time to get into. But someday we'll I'll figure it out. Cool, awesome. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for spending your Monday morning with me. I hope your week goes well, and I hope you guys all have good stuff planned, good teas. So love you all. Thank you so much. See ya.